All right, what's happening, everybody? It's Truman, and this is the Red Bull Rant, and this is episode 434. I'm going to call this one the Agony of Detail. As you can see, it's just me. Jay is on vacation, acting like Triple H and tearing ACLs everywhere. But speaking of getting torn up, how about the Red Bulls in the first half? That was absolute trash. That was so bad that I pretty much was so happy that AEW Dynamite was coming on because I pretty much focused on that and kept the game on my phone. They sucked. That was an absolutely shitty tie. I'm going to say that right now. I mean, yeah, sure, they got the points back. But let's face it, that sucked. That sucked. Real quick, I'm going to get to the one tweet that we got, and that's from our friend Ucheska, who said, I've been wondering all season if this team was a Tolkien injury transfer away from falling flat on its arse. And you know what? With some actual good teams coming up, this Gold Cup stretch could get long. And I agree with you, because they were so completely exposed in the first half, and again at home. I mean, guys, I think we are. Are we resolved to the fact that this is not a playoff team? You know me, I am Mr. Positive. I'm still trying to stay that way for this team. But when you give up 2 goals out of the gate to start the game, I'm surprised fans stuck around after halftime. I probably wouldn't have not, even though they came back and tied the game at 2-2. Again, the bad. 2 goals in 6 minutes. That's what they gave up. The good. 2 goals in 5 minutes in the second half. And they looked good in the second half. But where was that early on? This team had plenty of rest to get ready. And they just, I don't know. They looked flat. And I know Rucheska's talked about Tolkien, but I mean, that's not the biggest issue here. They didn't look ready to play. And getting exposed twice by Benjamin Bender, it just can't happen. It really can't. And I think the only thing that saved their ass is that Charlotte gives up a lot of goals. So that was a big help. But really, I mean, listen, I'm not doing the likes, dislikes, afterthoughts. We're just saying that this game was an absolute shit result for a home game. We're coming on off the break. I didn't like the lineup. I didn't like that Vanzier was not in the lineup. I don't care what the strategy is. I don't care if the strategy is playing for the weekend. Full rest, coming back, get all your starters that you can out there. Because, again, these are home games. These are games you cannot afford to fucking drop points to. And that's exactly what they did. They fucking dropped points. So that absolutely sucked. Prediction standings not changing. Jay and I both, Jay predicted a loss. I predicted a win. And this is what we got. We got that. So that was fun. Next game coming up is Atlanta at home. So who the fuck knows what's going to happen here? I mean, I don't. I certainly have no idea what the fuck's going to happen. Atlanta is not a great team right now. I mean, they're a good team. They're sitting in 5th. It's Major League Soccer. Every team is kind of beatable. I mean, we've proved that over and over again. But what are they going to show against Atlanta? I have no idea. Just going over to their goal differential, they are +6. Jesus Christ. Another performance like this is just, it's not going to cut it. It's not. You got to win these games at home. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. They're just not performing the way we all hoped. All I wanted was mediocre football. That's all. Just a mediocre team to play mediocrity enough to sneak into the playoffs and they get knocked out in the first round. I don't think that's so much to ask. But again, right with the Gold Cup going on and Morgan gone for, again, weeks and weeks and weeks, I think this is what we're looking at. Just a shit-ass team giving up goals and not getting game winners when needed. It's frustrating. Have you heard enough of the Red Bulls yet? Because, I mean, I don't know. I have. This team is just, it's fucking annoying. I don't have Jay to go on about the referees and not looking at a penalty in the first half. I apologize for that, but Jay's definitely thinking about it as I record this. That certainly could have been at least looked at to see if there was a penalty, but it's the Red Bulls, so they don't get calls like that. They don't get VAR. Nothing. They get absolutely fuck all. And that's what we're looking at here. So I'm not very excited. And I want to be the excited guy about this team, but I am just not. I wanted to go to at least one game this year, but why bother? What am I going to go see? Nothing? This kind of game? This fucking shitty-ass giving up early goals and not being able to recover and not getting wins? I don't know. No thanks. It's stupid. Moving on. I'm not going to talk about Gotham or Red Bull 2 because I really didn't look any of that shit up. I'm just going to pretend that Red Bull 2 lost and Gotham's playing well. I think that's good enough, right? What I want to talk about, of course, is Formula One weekend up in Montreal. Max Verstappen dominates again because, of course, he did. That's just what he does. Checo with fucking a shitty-ass qualifying again. Not getting to the last round of qualifying. Starting in 12th. Finishing 6th, I believe. 3 races in a row. Now just kind of really just taking a shit in qualifying. We got a week off until we move on, so we won't talk about the following race until the next podcast, which hopefully Jay will be back for. I think he will. Because me doing this by myself is not the most exciting thing in the world. We had a listener, I won't mention their name, but they were very nice to offer us ticket availability for Montreal. I want to take you up on it, bud, but I don't know if I can afford it. And that it's cheap. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say very nice offer. But times are tough right now in the podcast world, and we are not making the big money in the podcast. Once we get like a hymns.com sponsor or something like that, or I don't know, some kind of shaving cream company, something crazy like that, MeUndies that Chris Jericho has, I just can't afford that. But it's awesome. It's awesome. I really appreciate the offer. The seats look amazing. Maybe down the road I will take you up on it. You never know. Anyway, what else is there to talk about? I got really nothing going on. I apologize for this being the shortest podcast in the world, but you got to fucking make do, right? Because this is what we got. Going to go down for the terrible team of the week. I'll give it to Dallas for losing to Austin 3-0. I mean, actually, Austin's a good team at his home, but Dallas is a stupid place because it's also home of the Cowboys, and I wish nothing but ill will upon Dallas. So you have that. That's it. That's it. If this is short, this is super short. I don't even know if we're going to get to 10 minutes on this one, guys. It's going to be the shortest podcast you've ever heard. This team gives you nothing to really root for. They really don't. It's kind of a bummer. Dontier Van Zier, I don't know. Start him this weekend, I guess. I think Jay's predicting a 1-0 loss against Atlanta. I don't know. I think they could score a goal. Let's give them a 1-1 draw. Just continue this mediocre league, mediocre season, I should say, with all the draws that they have. That sounds about right for this team. Anyway, short and sweet. We'll be back. We'll be way longer next week because Jay should be back. I'll be back. Talk more. You don't want to hear me go on and on and on and on. So that's it. Oh, by the way, AEW Forbidden Door. You want to talk about that? We'll talk about that next week because I think Forbidden Door is going to be awesome. Collision was awesome. I know people hate CM Punk. I love the guy. I can't help it. He's straight edge punk rocker like me. I hope he gets into more backstage fights. That'll definitely be fun and worth watching. So that's it. That is the episode. Hey, Red Bulls, get your shit together. I would say win, but you're probably not going to. So I'm going to say just don't embarrass your fans at home. And on that note, we will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.